Have you ever poured your heart and soul into helping someone, only to realize they didn't want to be saved? It's a painful lesson, one that many of us learned the hard way. This reminds me of a story my Lola, my grandmother, used to tell me. It's not a grand epic, but a simple, quiet story from her village, a story about a man named Kiko and the river that was his life. Kiko was a fisherman, and not just any fisherman. The villagers said he was born with the river's rhythm in his blood. He knew its secrets, where the biggest fish hid, when the currents were gentle and when they were treacherous. His little hut stood right by the riverbank, closer than anyone else's. For Kiko, the river wasn't just a source of livelihood, it was his companion, his everything. But the river was changing. Every year, during the rainy season, its waters would rise higher and higher, creeping closer to the village. The elders, who had seen this pattern for decades, warned everyone. They organized a Neon, a community effort to build a stronger retaining wall, and encouraged families living near the bank to move to higher ground, offering them plots of land further inland. Everyone listened. Families packed their belongings, dismantled their homes, and rebuilt them on safer ground. Everyone, that is, except Kiko. His friends would come to him, day after day. Kiko, his best friend, Mang Nesta, would plead, "The river is not what it used to be. It's angry. Come with us. We'll help you move your house. It'll only take a day with all of us working together." Kiko would just smile and shake his head. "Nesta, my friend," he'd say, patting the old wooden posts of his hut. "This house has stood here since my father's time, and his father before him. The river has always provided for us. It knows me. It won't harm me." The village captain even came to visit him. He sat with Kiko on his small porch, sharing a cup of coffee. "Kiko," he said gently, "we've prepared a new spot for you. It's a good piece of land, just a short walk from here. We're worried about you. The storms are getting stronger each year." Kiko looked out at the water, his eyes filled with a deep, stubborn affection. "Thank you for your concern, Captain. I truly appreciate it. But I can't leave. The river is my home. I understand its moods better than anyone. I will be fine. I always am." He believed he had a special bond with the river, a connection that made him immune to its dangers. He saw the rising waters not as a threat, but as the river, just stretching its limbs. His friends and neighbors didn't give up. They offered to carry his things for him. They offered to cook him meals while he settled into a new place. They offered their own homes for him to stay in temporarily. They offered everything they could think of. But Kiko's answer was always the same, a polite, firm no. He saw their concern not as love, but as a lack of faith in his connection with the river. He thought they just didn't understand. The rainy season arrived, and with it came a typhoon, fiercer than any they had experienced before. The rain fell relentlessly for days. The river, once a calm provider, swelled into a raging monster. Its muddy waters swallowed the banks, carrying debris and uprooted trees. From the safety of higher ground, the villagers watched in horror. They could see Kiko's small hut, now looking like a tiny, vulnerable island in the middle of a brown sea. Mang Nesta, his heart heavy with worry, organized a rescue. A few brave men got into a small boat, fighting the powerful current. They yelled Kiko's name, their voices almost lost in the roar of the wind and water. Kiko grabbed the rope. "We're here to get you." They saw him through the window. He was just sitting at his table, calmly looking out. He waved at them, almost as if to say, "Don't worry about me." He refused to leave. He truly believed the water would recede, that his special bond with the river would protect him. To leave would be to betray that trust. The rescue team had to turn back. The current was too strong. and it was becoming too dangerous for them. They had tried. They had extended their hands, but Kiko wouldn't take them. The next morning the storm had passed. The sun came out, shining on a scene of devastation. The river was still high, but it was no longer raging. Where Kiko's hut once stood, there was nothing, just the swirling, muddy water. The river had taken his home, and it had taken him with it. The village was silent with grief. They had done everything they could. They had warned him, pleaded with him, and even tried to rescue him against his will. But in the end, they couldn't force him to save himself. My Lola would always finish the story with a sigh. She'd look at me with her wise old eyes and say, "Oppo, remember this. You can offer someone a life raft. You can throw them a rope. You can even swim out to them. But you cannot force them to grab on. You can't save someone who doesn't want to be saved." Kiko wasn't a bad person. He was just stubborn, trapped in his own belief that things would always be the way they had been. He couldn't see that the world and the river had changed. He refused to adapt, refused to accept the help that was being freely offered. His love for the river blinded him to its dangers. This story isn't just about a man and a river. It's about us. It's about the people we love who are stuck in destructive patterns. Whether it's a bad relationship, a harmful habit, or a refusal to face reality, we can be their village. We can offer our support, our love, our resources. We can be Mang Nesta, yelling their name from a boat in the middle of a storm. But we also have to learn the heartbreaking lesson that Kiko's village learned. There is a limit to our power. We cannot make choices for another person. We cannot force them to change their mind or to see the danger they are in. The desire to change, the will to survive, has to come from within them. It's painful to watch someone you care about refuse help. It can make you feel helpless, frustrated, and even guilty. You might ask yourself, did I do enough? Could I have said something different? Should I have tried harder? But Kiko's story teaches us that sometimes the answer is no. You did everything you could. You showed up. You offered a way out. The choice was ultimately theirs. Learning to let go isn't about giving up on someone. It's about accepting the limits of your own influence. It's about protecting your own peace and well-being so you don't get pulled under by their currents. You can love someone from a distance. You can hope for the best for them from the safety of the shore. So if you're out there trying to save your own Kiko, remember this tale. Offer your hand, offer your help, offer your love, but also know when it's time to pull your boat back to the shore. You can't save someone who is determined to stay in the path of the flood. You can only save yourself. Thank you for listening. If this story resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories that make us think. Take care, stay kind, stay wise, and never forget these are the stories we live by.